officially live on the camera feed and officially live on the radio feed. This is the first time working out these technical difficulties. It's not every day. Like, you're doing this multifaceted operation,
It can get complicated with all the moving parts.
Yes, but I don't remember being that sassy in first year.
I was so afraid in first year. I was afraid that I'd get stepped on. I was so, not okay with everything.
Especially at talks where there's other profs and older students. And,
oh, no.
But yeah, I've met some of them at the socials, and they're enthusiastic as ever.
See, I didn't talk to, any of them at the socials. They, were not coming up to me. I tried to talk to them. None of them responded. I don't know what it is about me. Maybe I'm just, not welcoming.
That's unfortunate. I don't know. Yeah, they love me. Yeah.
You're just too lovable.
Yeah, I think, I have no idea. But the topic, as advertised, natural transition into that, crime culture. And it just came off the top of my head because I was watching some video on crime culture. And I wanted to think, what would be Natasha's solution or opinion on crime culture? What do you think?
I think... crime culture is a very broad topic, for one thing. I definitely think that we have a problem with getting into this cycle of crime, where as soon as you are labeled as a criminal, or you're labeled to be a delinquent or anything, you just become that. It's you might go into prison for a year, but then you become a criminal in prison. You get an education on how to be a criminal, a better criminal. Right. It's like university for criminals. You network in there and everything. So then you're in, and then you can't, once you get out, you can't get a job because you have to put in that you're a felon and you can't go to school. And it's just this cycle where you probably then fall back into crime, and then it just keeps going and going and going. So I think my solution would probably be there needs to be more rehabilitation in some crimes. If you are a serial killer, no. If you are a serial rapist, no. If you're done white collar crime, where you did insider trading and stuff, maybe you deserve a little rehabilitation. If you did small drug stuff, maybe it deserves some rehabilitation. But I think there's a scale there that needs to be acknowledged.
So you're kind of an apologist.
A little bit. A little bit.
Well, how much do you think is nature and how much do you think is nurture? Do you think some people are just born destined to commit horrendous crimes?
I definitely do think there are people who are born like that. That no matter what parents you have, no matter your upbringing, you're still going to be terrible and do terrible things to people. There are definitely those horrible, terrible people out there. But then I do think a lot of it is circumstance. If you were born in an environment where you don't have any sort of resources, you don't have access to education, you experience a lot of violence at home, so you're abused, or et cetera, that all leads into kind of this idea and this concept of being underprivileged and then falling into crime. But
so they reinforce the
they're reinforced through their circumstances. But then again, that's not an excuse, but I will say it's an explanation for things.
Yeah, I think you could definitely make that argument. Maybe not after the crime has been committed, because I don't think the judge would be too sympathetic to that. Most judges anyways. But usually they look into sort of the upbringing of the criminal, don't they? And take that into consideration.
I think they have to. I don't do law of any kind, but I'm sure they must. If they look into character of people, they must look into circumstance of people.
Yeah. I think it's unfortunate right now that we have, back to the crime culture thing, a culture where, a lot of people rap about they wanted to go to prison because that was kind of an ideal path of life. You see those shows like Beyond Scared Straight, and they have such a delusional image of what prison is going to be like. And it's sad that they don't have anybody that they take seriously educating them otherwise.
Yeah, and I also think, again, that goes back into your upbringing. If you are raised in a place that has gangs, and people in your family are part of gangs and have been to prison, you embody that kind of persona of, well, they all did it, I respect these people, they're my family, my friends, my neighbors, I'm also going to be like them. In a similar way that it's like, if your dad or your whole family have been firefighters, you might want to be a firefighter one day. I guess it can be like that.
They don't have the role models.
No.
They need role models. Who's your role model on campus, would you say?
Who's my role model on campus? Probably my friend Robert. He's the president of the X Pride Society, and he's like a big person in XCF.
Oh, I know Robert.
Yeah, Robert. He's fantastic. He's so inspiring. Like, he just does so much, and he's so socially involved and so caring.
Oh, I have questions to ask you about X Pride stuff.
Oh.
Maybe we'll save it for later. Maybe,
okay.
We already touched one. We started with something very sensitive and very political. Maybe we'll move to something lighter. But yeah, I do like Robert. Did you hear that today Brian Mulrooney is on campus?
I did hear that.
His new book is launched.
Do you know what it's about?
Probably a memoir.
Probably. I don't know much about Brian Mulrooney, to be honest. I know about his son. His son's like a reporter on E-Talk.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. That's all I know about him.
That's funny. I did not know that. Yeah, I don't know enough about him to talk about him.
Yeah.
But he definitely did. Actually, I won't say who, but a professor was talking about his affiliation with Saudi Arabia and arms dealers, and some of that money is coming from some of the money that funded the building potentially is coming from less than
savory places.
Savory places.
Yeah.
I
think I was there for this conversation.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, I think, but you know what? It looks like a great building. Yeah,
it'll be real pretty. Unfortunately, I leave this year, so I won't get to enjoy said pretty building.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And apparently they're bringing in Johnny McDonald's desk. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I think they're bringing in the original one.
Wow.
Yeah, or... Yeah, that's what I heard. Maybe it's a replica. Who knows?
Interesting. Very political.
Well, yeah, it's a political science building,
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that only for poli-sci?
No, I mean,
okay.
They must use it for other things. I would have to assume.
You'd have to.
Yeah, I'd have to assume.
Where else would all the other departments go?
Yeah, they could stay in Lane Hall forever. I don't know.
I feel like the profs would be very, very unhappy with that.
A lot of the profs are stoics that I've talked to in the philosophy department, and they don't care at all,
Oh, see, I haven't met those stoics. I've only met angry Aristotelian and Thomas.
The complainers, the whiners.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a stoic?
I like stoicism. I think, I don't love all of it. I think it's slightly too passive.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the idea of kind of controlling your responses to things rather than complaining about the things happening.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think about, I'm more thinking about like anti-hedonism.
I guess, I think there's a time and a place. I don't think any extreme hedonism or proper like following of hedonism is good, but I don't think an entire rejection of it is also good.
Mm-hmm.
I think pleasure has an important place in life, and that place should be respected. And that it should be acknowledged that pleasure is a natural form of what it means to be human, and we should partake in that in moderation, but also pursue other things like virtue. I think it's a balancing act. I think all of life is a balancing act.
Pursuing virtue?
Pardon?
Pursuing virtue over pleasure, you think so? Oh, so you're sort of, you're for moderation, I guess?
Definitely. I think everything should be done in moderation, including moderation.
Because I won't say who.
I'll probably infer who this is.
There's a student who's been on this podcast before who suggested to me that I lay a yoga mat beside my bed and ditch my bed and sleep on the floor from now on because it toughens you up or something. I don't know. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if
I'm pretty sure that's from Diogenes the Cynic who said
maybe like that. I don't know.
So I feel like I know who this is.
I couldn't really understand his motivation. But he said, oh yeah, I sleep much better. Or no, he didn't say he slept better. He said he wakes up a lot easier in the morning. I'm like, yeah, because...
You're on the floor. No one wants to sleep on the floor.
Yeah, I couldn't understand. Yeah, I guess I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for not hedonism, stoicism.
Yeah.
Just because I've seen what people become when all they pursue is pleasure.
I agree.
It's a sad lifestyle.
It is really sad. Anything that you pursue to any excess can become very self-destructive very quickly.
Yeah.
Like drugs being such an easy example of that.
I think I'm addicted to potato chips. I'm not even kidding.
Who does? I think I'm addicted to chocolate. Like, it's an actual problem.
I'm not a fan really of chocolate, but what kind of chocolate?
Literally any chocolate. Like, I need to eat chocolate every single day or I get really upset.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have an actual problem. I was living with people last year and I didn't eat chocolate for 4 days. And they were like, hey, Tash, when was the last time you ate chocolate? I'm like, 4 days ago. They're like, we can tell. You're, like, so angry.
Why do you think that is? Why are you obsessed with chocolate?
I don't know. I've always had a really big sweet tooth. Like, both sides of my family have, like, massive sweet tooth. So I have, like, a double one. So, I don't know. It's probably a condition thing. I probably ate too much of it as a child. Maybe.
Do you remember eating it on Christmas, I guess?
Oh, yeah. Those Terry chocolate oranges?
Yeah.
All the time.
That's interesting.
So good.
I've never really met too many people who are obsessed with chocolate.
Really? I am not a special breed. We're all called chocoholics. It's like
it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Do you like chocolate flavored things or just chocolate?
Or
all of it?
All of it, probably.
Yeah.
All of it.
Do you like the really bitter stuff, like the 70%?
I like 70% chocolate. Yeah, I like eating it. I do. I like it in stuff more than just eating it straight, but, like, I will eat it straight.
But yeah, my roommate has put me on finding the best flavor of chips.
Ooh, what's your favorite so far?
It's been a really catch-up month.
Really catch-up month.
Yeah, it's been a catch-up month. As sad as that is to say. And it's not, like, a related to drugs thing or... that's why it sucks, because whenever they see me at the store, they're like, oh no, he's stoned again. But really, I'm not. I just really like chips,
Oh, so you haven't partaken in the legalization of marijuana yet?
No, I haven't even been yet. I haven't even seen one.
Yeah, I haven't been yet either, and I'm like, oh.
Actually, one of the philosophy professors was... first he was spouting on about how immoral it was and how students are going to show up high. And then he was asking me about all the details and where you can get certain things. I was like, oh, maybe... You're not so anti-weed.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But no, I haven't seen it yet. But I've seen the product, and it's amazing how quickly they got everything packaged and marketed and all that.
I've been too nervous to, like, walk in. Is that terrible? Like, growing up, it was such, like, an anti-drug thing. Like, don't do drugs, don't do drugs, don't do drugs. And all of a sudden, it's like, no, go do them. It's fine. I'm like, oh, I feel like someone's going to judge me. I don't want to do this.
What kind of high school do you go to? Was it?
I went to a Catholic school. I went to a very strict Catholic school.
So there wasn't too many drugs, was there?
No, there was.
Okay.
People did them. I grew up in a small town, so people used to say there was only 3 things to do. Eat, drink, and have sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat, drink, have sex, and then the 4th one was smoke weed. That was it. So, yeah, there was a lot. It was just, we had to be quite Catholic on top of it all. I just didn't get into anything. Because I was a loser in high school. No one liked me very much.
In high school?
No one liked me very much, so.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Although, I feel I've had another guest on, and you'll probably guess who it is again. Who had a similar story. He went to a public school, but he was the only Catholic.
Okay, then I know who this is.
Yeah, he felt like an outcast as well, and I feel like maybe a lot of philosophy students have that mindset, and that's why they enjoy the philosophy community so much.
That's really interesting, because when I was, how old was I? I was 16. I was dating this guy, and all of his friends I would hang out with. And they were all, like, those weird philosophy kids. Like, we obviously didn't... School. Yeah, they were like, we're gonna sit around and, like, talk about, like, Nietzsche and, like...
No way, in high school?
Yeah.
These guys sound great.
Really weird people. But, like, nice enough.
Yeah.
But, like, even with them, didn't fit in. Like, so...
That's too bad.
Maybe it took me a while. Like, again, I wasn't even part of, like, Phil Society until, like, this year.
So this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go out last year very much.
Yeah.
I was kind of turned off by all this kind of stuff. I had a bad experience with the campus newspaper.
I heard about that.
Yeah, a professor loves to tell everybody that story.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't mind him telling you that, but it's just weird when people come up to you at these parties and that's all they know you.
Oh god.
That's all they know of you. They're like, oh, you're the conservative kid. And like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I told my friends I was gonna be on this, and they're like, "Oh, with who?" And I mentioned, and they're like, "Isn't that the guy with that paper that like was really like not okay?" And I was like, I don't really know. I wasn't in the country.
That was a bit of a fiasco, but I'm glad I still work at the radio because we're doing everything right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also they don't care about politics, so.
No, Matt's pretty cool.
Yeah, the station manager is cool if you're listening. Yeah, he's
Hey Matt,
cool.
we love you.
Although I've heard they have new management at the newspaper, so I haven't checked that out, and I've read a little bit of what they've been publishing, and it's pretty much the same, but can't complain. And I always recommend it too to young students who are interested in writing and stuff. They go check it because it's a good experience to even be involved with it.
Yeah, I was never into it, even though I'm such like a big writer. I love to write. I never got into the paper for some reason or another.
Oh yeah, we haven't even touched on your fascination with literature.
Yeah, not even so much reading literature, but writing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have a study habit where you watch a movie before you study or something.
Yeah, so I watch when I study, I often take breaks to watch movies or TV shows that kind of have nothing to do with what I'm studying. And then I try like to find different things that I'm studying within the show. So I'll watch. So for instance, I was watching this show on Netflix called Wanderlust, and it's all about different types of relationships. And in that, I was like, oh, they're clearly dealing with these types of ethics and like this theory and that theory, and they're dealing with temperance and this, and thought about all of that. So it helps you. It helps you see in like real world all of these things being applied.
Are you enjoying the ethics course?
I love the ethics course. I think it's great. You definitely can't fall asleep in that ethics course.
Yes, it's lively.
It's lively. Sure. I like it. I like it though.
Yeah. I guess I was just frustrated. I knew exactly what to expect, and then I didn't expect. Well, maybe I didn't want my expectations to be right. I don't know.
Why? What were you expecting?
Well, I've had this professor before. Last year I had aesthetics, and I loved him. It was great him having so much energy and everything. But then I thought with ethics, maybe like he toned down a little bit.
No.
But it's kind of good, yeah.
This is my first class with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had one with Byrne yet, but he's retiring, so I'm gonna have to.
I have him next semester.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be I might switch to it just to. The ethics though. I don't know. I would have liked if we had kind of a neutral textbook instead of the professor's own textbook. Just because all the time I feel like he's lost in his own
mindset, yeah.
Yeah. Especially during the exam.
Oh my god, the exam today, when he was giving it back, and he just kept going on and on and on about what was wrong. I was like, just give it back, you're giving me so much anxiety. I just want it back so I can leave. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind it though,
Yeah, no, I like ethics, but I've always liked ethics as a area of study, which is, if you're a philosophy student, so basic. Everyone likes ethics.
Everyone likes ethics because it's exciting and
it is exciting,
applicable, and you can have discussions at bars with people about ethics. And
exactly.
Everyone understands the language. You're not going to go talk to them about metaphysics or something.
Yeah, like if I rock up and I start talking about, hey, want to know about like substance and causality?
What is being?
What is being?
Yeah.
Let's get into existentialism right here.
Yeah, I was actually at their offices last night, and one of the, I don't know if you know Peter Haskett.
Yeah, I know Peter.
Yeah, he's like telling me one of his master's theses, I guess.
Yeah.
Going into such great detail, and a lot of the stuff I can kind of follow along with, but when he got into like Aristotelian metaphysics really into it, I was like, this is cool, but it's the classic philosophy prof thing where they're just so in their own world that they don't even
nowhere else. Yeah,
they don't even know if you're following the conversation or not, But it was neat. It was interesting to talk to somebody like that.
I get so worried that I'll end up like one of those people where you just like so in your own mind that I've decided not to do a master's of philosophy and do like something else.
You'll get too into your own mind.
Yeah. Do a master's of creative writing
You think
about
so?
philosophy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What did you do this summer? What was your job? Did you
The
work
summer,
this summer?
yeah, I worked this summer. I was a cook. I was a cook in a restaurant, and I'd been a cook for the past 2 summers.
A cook in a restaurant.
Cook in a
What
restaurant.
kind of restaurant? Oh, yeah, you were telling me.
Yeah, it was like a business casual restaurant
Mhm.
in a way, and it had a bit of everything. It had like artisan pizzas and like fancy dishes and desserts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that. I did all the desserts. I got to bake every
You
single
did the
day,
desserts?
and then I
Oh,
also
cool.
prepped all the food and made all the sauces and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's what I did for the
I
past 2
wish I
summers.
worked in a restaurant.
I was terrible at it. I don't know why they let me do it.
What do you mean? Did you butcher the desserts or something?
No, see the desserts I was good at. They let me do the desserts because I could bake. Everything else I was not very good at. I could barely use a knife properly. I always burnt stuff on the stove. I had couldn't remember anything cooking. Yeah, I was happy to be done that job.
Yeah, it's stressful, right?
Yeah, or actually working line was really fun because you just have stuff all prepped and then you just put everything together and cook it and whatever. So that's really fun because it's a lot of adrenaline, but prepping and everything, having all the other cooks be like, you don't know how to cook onions properly. What is wrong with you? I'll be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. My memory's not good enough, I don't think.
Yeah, I see baking, I'm like, okay, hour and a half in the oven, great, done. I can remember that. When it's you need to cook onions on the stove, I'm like, I don't know how long that takes. I guess I'll just do this and then come back and then they're burnt.
So you're a baker too?
I'm a big baker.
You're a big
I
baker.
love to bake. Yeah.
I could imagine you on what's that show with the kids? It's like Hell's Kitchen. Kids.
Oh yeah, MasterChef Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting yelled at or something for not having the lamb sauce or whatever.
Yeah, no, that would have been me. It was funny. I was dating this guy and he was a way better cook than me. An amazing cook.
Yeah.
But I used to be like, oh yeah, you might be the better cook, but who actually worked as a cook?
Whoa.
And then he got a job as a cook, and then he could make fun of me more, being like, yeah, but you're shit. And I was like, true, valid. I respect that opinion.
So you're a baker all through high school too?
Yeah. I was,
So you couldn't have been that big of a loser, you bring in baked goods and everyone likes you.
No, I mainly baked because I was really sick in the hospital for a while, and I had to do stuff every single day to get up, because if I didn't, then I would just be sick in bed all the time. So I had to get up and I bake because I had to have human interaction outside of my room and everything. So I baked and then bring it to neighbors. So my neighbors liked me. But yeah, I baked every single day for all of grade 12.
Wow, that's dedication.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That was your sports team.
Yeah, I was also a competitive figure skater.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, my whole life I was a competitive figure
figure
skater.
skater.
Yeah.
Does that coincide at all with baking?
No. Not really. I would sometimes bring in baking for the figure skaters, which was good. We needed the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So figure skating wasn't cool at your high school?
It was. There was a bunch of girls who...
It was.
It was. There was a bunch of girls who did it. And... I grew up in a hockey town, for one thing. So, hockey was the
Where are
big
you
thing.
from?
Georgetown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
From Georgetown.
Which is a big hockey town. So, figure skating was already kind of, shunned.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of girls who did it. But even with them, I was kind of, the outcast in the, figure skating community in a way.
I see.
So, yeah. Because I was the only one who chose to do ice dance. Specialized in ice dance.
Ice dance.
Well, everyone else did, free skate. So, that was kind of...
Losers.
I know. Jumping and shit.
Yeah. I saw a figure skater, I don't know if this is common or not, it didn't seem common, but during her routine, she, wound up and did a backflip mid-routine. I was like, whoa, I didn't even know you could do that.
There was one woman who did that. So, men can often do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a legal move, but, you can do it. And then...
it's illegal?
Yeah, it's illegal. It's not...
Why is that?
So basically, there's moves that you get credit for, I know all your jumps, an axel, your lutz, and then you have field moves a spread eagle, and unibauer, those. But a backflip isn't a jump, but it's also not a field move. So it's kind of this a legal move. Like, you don't get points for it, but it's not also... You don't get deducted anything from it, which
so
is
it's like
weird.
a show-off thing?
Yeah, it's like a show-off thing. Except for a jump to happen, you have to land on one foot and do a rotation. So there was this black figure skater. She made history, and she did a backflip. The only woman to ever do it. Did a backflip and then turned when she was like coming out of the backflip and landed on one foot, so it counted as a jump.
Dang.
Yeah, the only woman to ever do it. But
yeah, that's the one I saw.
Yeah.
It was crazy. How do you even get traction on ice to do that?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's like watching the first woman dunk in the WNBA. You know, it was lit.
It's historic. Really.
It was definitely historic.
Yeah.
Or like watching the first guy do high jump, and you know they used to just like dive head first over it.
No, I didn't.
Like it wasn't always the technique to like go back first or whatever. And I guess I forget who it was, some Italian guy or something, just had the bright idea to like go back first.
Wow.
It seems, I don't know what you would do more naturally, like intuitively, because it seems like kids just dive head first if they don't know how to high jump. You know?
I would feel like head first would be the natural instinct.
Yeah, not like arcing your back and going over like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So you're a figure skating star in high school, and everyone's jealous of you.
Oh, I wish, but sure, we'll live with that narrative. I'll take it.
That's too bad. Why do you think? Why do you think in high school you're a bit of an outcast? Like what? What was the reason? Did you push people away or?
I don't know. Maybe I did. Who
Yeah,
knows?
you probably did, huh?
Probably did. And so because I went to like such a small school, I graduated high school with the same people I went to elementary school with, so we knew each other since we were all like 4. So I was really quiet, like literally did not speak. People thought I was mute for like elementary school. And then when I got to high school, you kind of like meet people and everything. And then that first semester I became really good friends with the girl, and then she started dating my best friend, and then she hated me.
Ooh.
Hated me.
Drama.
Hated me. And then she started bullying me until grade 12, actually. It was horrible. And like, I guess in small schools when you're in high school, people bully you and then you become like this outcast. People hate you. And then when I was 15, I went to Spain as an exchange student, and I lived there, and that was fun.
For how long?
First semester, for 3 months.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So it was a small school you went to, huh?
It was big by some standards to other people,
How
but
many kids were in your graduating class?
there was, in my graduating class, I think like 300 kids in my graduating class.
See, my school was like a third of that.
Yeah. See, it was... People think it's really big, but in hindsight it's not, because it's the only Catholic elementary high school, in that entire region.
Right.
So, like, before that, everyone from all the neighboring, like, towns would have to be bused to, like, 2 towns over to go to high school. So it was, like, high school for, like, a bunch of towns for that one.
And do you think your outcast persona, you kind of took it on?
I really wish I hadn't.
But it's hard not to, you know?
Yeah, it's hard not to. I guess, so I tried being in a bunch of different friend groups. Like, I really tried. But I was always that least, like, friend. You know, like, the people I hung around with in my senior year, they are all still best friends. They all hang out all the time.
Why do you think that is? Why are you the least like friend? I want to know. In case.
You want to know? I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a really bad person. Actually, like deep down, I think maybe I'm not a very nice person. And people just don't tell me.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you gossip about people? Do you talk shit?
I don't think I talk shit. I try not to. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I do things that, like, I try to always think about other people's feelings, but I recognize that sometimes I do stuff without treating them the way they should be treated. And
what do you mean by that? Jeez, are you conniving?
I'm conniving.
I don't know.
No, like...
You're scaring me.
What's a good example? So for instance, a friend, say, will, like, tell me a secret, but I won't realize their secret, and then I'll go tell, like, other people.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. And then I'm like, like, after, I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. So stuff like that. And I'm not very good at that, but...
Dang, I'm not telling you anything.
Like, literally don't. I'm terrible at keeping secrets.
Yeah.
Terrible at it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, at least you understood, because a lot of people
Yeah.
are delusional about how popular they were in high school.
Yeah, no.
Especially people who are like parasites to popular groups.
Mm-mm.
You know, there's always like those short, weird guys who hang around the popular kids and think they're one of them, but they're really...
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, at least you're self-aware. Because... yeah, you could definitely still be in the trap of thinking that you're... something that you're not, even in university, because a lot of people carry on their high school mentality to university.
A lot of people do. Like, I was so happy when I came to X because it's so incredibly far away from where I, like, grew up, like, my hometown. And no one that I graduated with came to X.
Oh,
so it was,
really?
like, getting, like, to start over completely, which was amazing.
Nobody knows how conniving you are yet.
No one knows how terrible and mean I am. I'm actually the devil.
So the Catholic thing is just a front then, you know?
Yeah, no, I am Christian though. Like I was Catholic up until a
some
long
people
time.
think you're a good person, they befriend you, and then you
And then I'm actually
go
terrible.
full Judas on them.
Yeah, that's actually it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I know I was talking to Billy, who was on this podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you know he's a pretty devout Catholic.
He's very devout Catholic.
But he has some vices. Let me tell you, he keeps
Yeah,
pretty secret. I'm not going to expose him on air, but. Let's just say that just saying, "Oh, I'm a good Catholic," doesn't excuse him from some of his actions. If you know what I mean.
No, I identified as Catholic for a very long time, and then this past 2 months I changed because I was like, I don't want to be Catholic anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You've converted?
I converted to being United.
The United Church?
Yeah.
And what drove this decision?
Oh, it's a very political reason. Basically, all of my friends, like in my close friend group, are in the queer community. All of them. And, like, I love my friends so much. And I want my friends to be respected and loved just as much as I love them. And I found in the Catholic Church, some churches, they might be tolerant, but they aren't accepting. And that really upset me. That, like...
What do you think the reasoning is behind not being,
yeah.
quote-unquote tolerant of...
I definitely think they are tolerant. I don't think they're accepting, and I think those are two different things.
Yeah, like, what's the reason for not being accepting? What do you think it is?
I think it's a lot of, like, misconceptions and kind of, like, preconceived notions. Like,
Station man.
hey, Matt. Like, I know in the Catholic Church, at least, they believe that you should only have, like, sex that's procreative and in the union of marriage. And, well, if you're gay, obviously you can't have it in the union of marriage, but it's not procreative. So they see that as wrong, but I don't. Like, I see it, like, sex as just a thing that people do that's wonderful and beautiful and people should embrace and be positive about. So, I don't know. I think people have a preconceived notion of what it means to be gay and that it's wrong, when really there's nothing wrong. Love is love, and people should just be able to be happy. Yeah. So I switched to United because they actually are very accepting.
They are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring this up because I was talking earlier, I didn't want to talk about homosexuality just yet. You know, let it ease into a little bit. But I have had some good conversations with people about this exact topic.
Oh.
Some Catholic conversations.
Interesting.
Cause yeah, I mean, I'm open to both sides. I'm kind of on the fence. I try not to let the view be politicized. I want there to be some sort of logic behind it. You know, as a philosophy student.
As philosophy students.
You gotta do it, and I can't. Even if I have friends that are gay or family that are gay, which I do, I don't want to let the emotion or the possibility of losing them as a friend get in the way of what's of logic and reason. And I'm not about to jump to either side here, but
yeah.
I did hear this argument. What I want to kind of figure out is why it's immoral to be homosexual. What's the reason?
I don't think there is a reason to be that it's immoral. I think it's perfectly moral to be gay or queer of any kind. Mainly because if I think about it, what makes something moral? If it's loving, if it's kind, if it's generous, like those kind of words often are what's used when we talk about something being good, and when you're gay, you can embody all of those too. Like, you can be loving, you can be caring, you can be kind, you can be generous, just as much as you and I.
Yeah.
And so I don't see why who you choose to love makes a difference.
Can I put an example up to you?
Sure.
Maybe just with this. And don't take it the wrong way, because it's kind of
We're having a healthy discussion.
Good, because it's kind of an obscene example.
Oh, God.
But I heard it the other day, and I think it works kind of. Say a brother and a sister are involved with each other romantically, and they're two consenting adults.
Yeah.
And they do everything in the privacy of their own home, and they have no plans on making children.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no chance of some sort of weird birth defect, child. Yet still, I'm inclined to believe that the majority of people would find such a relationship to be wrong, immoral, wrong.
Yeah.
How is the brother and sister thing different from homosexuality?
I think kind of like the incest thing is slightly different because, at least at first glance, I see there's not a power dynamic, but definitely a relationship dynamic that is not healthy. When you're already intimately connected with a person through family, that's a very specific type of relationship. And then when you're intimately intertwined with somebody romantically, that's a very different relationship. And combining those two gets really tricky. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, where it goes wrong. It's when you add that familiar with the romantic. Because when you're family with somebody, you hold certain values and you treat people a certain way. Mm-hmm. And then you wouldn't treat your mom the same way you would treat your wife. Like, you just wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're, say, in a romantic relationship with your sister, you are treating them both as family and a partner, and that's, like, where the issue lies. Well, if you're gay, you aren't doing that. You are completely dealing with somebody in a purely romantic way, the way you or I would have a relationship with anybody. It's just two strangers, no power dynamic, nothing.
What do you mean by power dynamic?
Yeah, as I said that, I was like, that's probably the wrong word.
Yeah, because I get the rest of the argument. Power dynamic, might be the
power dynamic is the wrong word. No preconceived relationship, if that makes sense. There's no already tied.
Right.
The way, say, like, if you're involved with a family member is, it's just two strangers who, like, meet, fall in love, and have a relationship. Huh. So that's, I don't see how having someone's gender come into that makes it wrong, the way being with your sister or brother would.
Makes it wrong.
Yeah.
Huh. What I wonder is, from a biological point of view, it is sort of strange that it seems to be kind of a genetic anomaly, if you believe in the gay gene. A lot of people want to say that people are born gay, you know? And I agree with that partially. It's probably a combination of nature and nurture, like anything, you know? But it is strange to think of why, because what is it, like 1% of the population is gay or something like that?
Oh, no, that's a totally made up statistic. No, it's not that uncommon. The actual statistic is about 1 in 4. Yeah.
25% of people are gay?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And that's gay, not including queer of all types. So that doesn't include bi, pan, asexual, all the different types of romantic, Huh. And that also doesn't include gender. People who are trans, non-binary, gender fluid.
I'm just wondering if...
Like, it's not that uncommon. People often think it is because our norm is heterosexual. Yeah. And our norm is to be straight. Like, obviously, you go out and everything is pointed towards being straight. You have The Bachelor, which is for heterosexual people. Like, all these sort of things. But a good chunk of the population is queer.
What do you think the ideal percentage of homosexual people would be? Because right now you say it's 25%.
Roughly.
Yeah. Do you think our society would be good if it was 50%?
I think our society would be fine. Like,
50?
I have no issue with that. I would argue that probably 50% of the population is queer of some kind. So I don't think...
Oh, yeah? What, they're a little freaky or something?
no. That they're, like, either, like...
I'm totally ignorant to this stuff. I don't know what it is.
No. I would reckon that, like, at least, that I would say 50% of the population is queer. So that means they're bi, or they're pan, or they're gay, or they're lesbian.
50%?
Yeah, I would reckon that everyone falls into that
50,
somewhere.
wow.
I would reckon. My brother has a wonderful saying. My brother, big army man. He's like a 3-time war vet guy.
Okay, cool, yeah.
And he argues. He's like, Natasha, nobody's gay and nobody's straight. Everyone's just a little bit bi. And that's just his argument for everyone.
Yeah, see, people say that, and it's a fun thing, you know, but I do wonder, though, if it's a good thing, because it seemed to be, like, we study ancients, and there's a lot of gay sex going on in ancient philosophy.
Tons of gay sex.
It seemed to kind of catch up with them, though. It seemed to be a problem, especially the power dynamic between the elders and the young people,
well, I think then
sycophants.
But then you're not getting into what does it mean to be gay. Then you're getting into pedophilia, which is very, very different and cannot be equated at all. So
there is a bit of that culture, though, when you say with the elder and the mentor-mentee relationship.
No, I would reckon that is not the case at all.
Oh, no?
You've been reading too much ancient philosophy. Yeah, no, from
maybe
everything I've ever seen in the queer community, and I've been heavily involved with it, like, for years and years, they are not like that. They're literally just like you and I, but they happen to have different parts between their legs. That's it.
What do you think about their sex drive? Is there anything different with their sex drive?
Nope. Just like you and I.
Yeah.
I've met people who are very sex positive. I've met people who are very, very not and who want to save themselves till they are married.
Gay people?
Yeah.
That want to save themselves till marriage?
Like, two of my, like, really, really good friends are, like that.
Yeah, where do you think the stereotype of promiscuity comes from of homosexuals?
I don't actually know, to be honest.
Because when you have a club full of men and men, I think we can both agree of maybe stronger sex drives. I don't know if you want to agree on that.
Like when you're in, like, a gay bar and everyone seems to have a stronger sex drive?
No, just generally men have stronger sex drives than women.
Oh, no, that's a lie.
You don't think so?
I can testify to that. That's a lie.
But wouldn't it make sense from an evolutionary standpoint?
No.
Don't you think so?
Nope.
That men have to compete for women?
I definitely think women have to compete for men just as much.
I don't know about that.
You sound like our professor from Socrates and Plato who said the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. It seems...
Like, as a girl, I can say that definitely happens. Like, girls like the same guy all the time and try to compete for him.
Sure they compete in the same way. Or sure they compete amongst each other, but I don't think the competition is nearly as intense as with guys. Because... it's harder for guys to find a girl.
You think?
Yeah.
I think it's quite difficult for some women to find.
Sure, yeah, there's some women to find. Yeah. But, I mean, if you look to I don't want to bring in the animal kingdom, but the men are always competing with each other for one female, you know? It's common in every kind of mammal.
I agree with that to some degree. Like, I definitely think it's important that we look to the animal kingdom for a lot of insight into what we are and who we are.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that we evolved over all of them.
Yeah, you think?
Because we are different.
We've evolved past our sex drive, you think?
Not past our sex drive. I think we embrace it. I think we're not limited to that men fighting for women kind of standpoint. And I also think if that was the case, if all men were fighting for women, why would there be such a pressure on women to be so beautiful and to, like, be this certain way for men and to present themselves in a certain way? Because they're trying to compete for men just as much.
Or maybe it's they want men to compete, better men to compete with each other for them.
Well, I don't think so.
They want to make the prize more valuable.
I don't think so. I think they just want to have men notice them for that. Like, they're competing for men just as much as all the other girls. Yeah. That's why girls take so long to get ready. They're like, I want to be the best looking girl, so the guys will look at me and not the other girl.
What do you think the difference is between male Tinder and the female side of Tinder. Do you think there's any difference?
No. I think the female side is a lot cleverer.
Clever, more subtle, maybe.
Not even more subtle. They just know how to work it better.
Know how to work it better.
Yeah, like, guys, from what I've seen on the guy side of Tinder, it's just like, hey, dick pic, moving on.
Oh, yeah?
Well, like, girls kind of know how to, like, flirt a bit better, I think. They know how to kind of get what they want, whether it's straight sex, they know how to progress it a bit better, or to actually get someone to ask out on a date. They kind of know how to, from what I've seen at least, they know how to work a conversation a bit better.
Do you think testosterone is correlated to sex drive at all?
I don't think so, not necessarily. I think all sex hormones relate to sex drive.
Yeah.
So, like, women can have very high sex drives, and we don't have that much testosterone. So, like, our estrogen, I'm sure, can contribute to it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird that maybe it's a totally baseless stereotype of homosexual men being more promiscuous.
I also think maybe it comes from the fetishization of them. Because it was like...
Fetishization? What do you mean? That sounds like a sociology kind of term.
Maybe. All my friends are in soc.
Oh, here we go. That's why. Okay, this explains a lot.
No, because, like, if you think about it, it was like a closeted, like, actually closeted act, right? So a lot of people would get married and then would do, like, queer stuff on the side. Mm-hmm. So people who...
25%. No, 50%.
Yeah, but especially back in the day when it was, like, illegal and people often got married even though they were gay, and the kids, they would have relationships outside of that, I'm sure. And then there would be people who wouldn't get married and they would have these relationships with all these different people. So I obviously don't know, but I feel like maybe that's a thing where it was like, oh, this is bad.
But even today, it seems in, like, California, most liberal place on earth, you know, gays are really, really accepted. Yeah. It seems to be that male homosexuals are more sexually active than females.
Are they more sexually active? Are they more sexually active compared to us? Or are they just more open about it?
You know, because are they more open about it?
Yeah, I think that might be the thing, is they're more open about it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that they're doing it more or less, it's just they're more open about it.
Huh. That they're more open about it. Well, why do you think they're more open about it? Men like to brag about sex?
No, I think just the queer community in general is a lot more sex positive. Because especially...
Wait, but the lesbians aren't bragging as much. Or always open as much.
Have you ever met lesbians?
But isn't that what you're saying? That the men are more open because they're talking more about sex and their hookups than the lesbians?
No, I definitely think it's just the queer community in general is more sex positive.
But no, I was trying to figure out why homosexual men are hooking up more than homosexual women. And you said it was because the men were more open about it.
Like, I would amend that and say that both. But I can say, how do I want to word this? I think in the LGBTQ plus community, the gay is kind of the defining one. And gay means men. And
the patriarchy never dies.
The patriarchy never dies.
Dang.
No, but I think, okay, this is, I think, why they're so open about it. Now that I've had a moment to think about it. The AIDS epidemic in the 80s predominantly affected gay men. Yeah. And what they had to do, obviously, to kind of combat that was safe sex. Mm-hmm. It's like condoms and things. So I think they're more sex positive in terms of, we know you're going to have it. We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about protection. We're going to talk about safe ways to have this, healthy ways to have this, as a way to combat that, especially that history being so embedded in the queer community. Mm. Yeah.
So that's why they're more open, because they want to stay safe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible. Are there any lesbian clubs?
Lesbian clubs?
Yeah, you know, there's like gay clubs, or you know, it's fun, you meet people, whatever. Are there lesbian clubs?
When you go to a gay club, it includes both men and women. Like,
does it? Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
There is lesbians going clubbing.
And they're really fun places. I would recommend them.
I was wondering, if men and women have equal sex drives, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll have a sociology answer for this
It's
one.
funny, I've never taken a soc class in my life. I'm not even that... Like, usually with my sociology friends, I'm the one that combats them because I'm like, no. We're going to try to find a singular truth.
Yeah.
We're going to logically think about this. But...
I was just wondering if...
Yeah.
Really... It seems like whenever we talk about something like rape culture or whatever,
Yeah.
especially in prison, it seems way more prevalent that men are raping each other than women are raping each other. That seems a clear evidence that men's sex drive is stronger.
I don't think rape has very little to do with sex, in my opinion. It has to do with power.
In prison, yeah.
Especially in prison, but I think just in rape culture in general, it's not, oh, I want to have sex with you, I'm going to have sex with you. It's, oh, I'm going to assert power over you.
You don't think lust?
I definitely think lust plays into it, but I think it's secondary to a power. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what comes first, lust or the desire for power. That's definitely interesting. I'm probably in prison. It's probably a combination of both.
Yeah, because I think in prison, to get back to crime culture, I think in prison it's this idea of like, you're someone's bitch, like that kind of idea.
Do you think the females do that? Do they rape each other?
I don't know. I have never met someone who is a woman out of prison.
You don't hear about that, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe it's hush-hush.
Maybe.
But you really don't hear about that, right?
No. But then again, you don't hear much about female prisons in general. Like,
what do you think that is?
I don't know. I have
It's
no
ugly.
idea.
It's an ugly idea.
Probably.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that on TV, probably. Except Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, except for Orange is the New Black. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't have an answer to that. Why we don't know more about women's prisons.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the sex drive thing, whether men and women really are equal.
We're equal.
We're equal?
Yeah, we are. I am personally testifying that we are equal.
Yeah, you might be an anomaly though, maybe just.
No, I'm not.
You don't think so?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
Because it seems like, especially in high school, boys are a lot crazier what to do with sex and everything. And
Have you ever seen the show Big Mouth?
no.
You need to watch show Big Mouth.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. So in the show Big Mouth, they tackle this issue, like, actually, like, head on.
Yeah.
Where they show, it's about these children going through puberty, so they're around 13. It's really funny, and they make sure to show, like, the boys and the girls equally. But, they basically tackle it to this idea that we only think men's sex drives are higher because they talk about it. Like, women have just as high of a sex drive.
Yeah.
They just haven't had a chance to talk about it or be in the media. But trust me, it's there.
It's
there.
But like, from an evolutionary standpoint, why would women have strong sex drives?
I don't know. Maybe they want to have kids too.
Yeah, they want to have kids, but they don't need to. They don't need to go looking for a husband. The husband will find them, right?
I don't think so.
During like caveman time, you don't think so?
No.
The woman was going out there flirting and
totally
getting busy. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Totally.
Actually.
I'm not an anthropologist or a biologist, but I would say totally.
Yeah, I don't know.
People have been the same all throughout human history. All of them. People don't change. If women are like this now, women were like that then.
I don't know. I just.
I think there's a big sociological reason why women often have sex, and that was because if women got pregnant, they obviously had no rights. If they got pregnant outside of marriage, they're screwed. And then it was like, okay, you can't get married, you can't get work because women don't have rights to get a job. You have no income, you have a baby. Like, there was a lot of reasons why you wouldn't have sex until you were married. And I think that's a self-preservation one. But since now we don't have that, women can obviously go to work.
They can go hoe around.
Yeah, they can go be a hoe, just like men can go be a hoe, and everyone be a hoe together. And
you think it's good for a woman to be hoes?
I think it's not my place to be in anyone's bedroom other than my own. No, I'm a very big sex-positive person. I think it's good that you do what you want to do the way you want to do it. If that's how you want to express yourself like that. If you want to express yourself by waiting till marriage, express yourself like that. No one can tell you what's right or wrong with your body, only you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think it's right for men to hoe around?
I think it's... Is it right for them to hoe around?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a matter of right or wrong, like from a moral perspective, but if we want a society where a society of values, a functional society, I really doubt that a culture where especially women are hoeing around will be beneficial for anybody. I mean, you ever read like Brave New World?
No.
Yeah, he points out kind of this problem exactly. All the babies are just born in a factory in test tubes. Everybody's very sexually promiscuous because there's no stigma or anything. But then sex is totally valueless. You know, it just becomes an exchange of hormones and fluids and... Yeah.
I'll get really existential on you. Then what really does have meaning? Like, what has value? Nothing has value except...
Family? No? You don't think so?
I don't think anything has value unless you prescribe value to
Family
it.
has no value.
My family has value because I prescribe value to family.
So nothing is value unless you prescribe value to... I find it hard to believe if a mother is giving birth to a baby and she's like, oh, I have to prescribe value to this baby, you know.
I don't think you actively sit there and you're like, okay, let me prescribe value to this. I think we inherently do it.
Yeah.
But I won't say there's like an inherent necessary value.
It's
to
like
anything.
one of our most basic functions, don't you think? The ability to have children for a woman.
Not necessarily. I know a lot of women who don't want children. I know a lot of women who can't have children.
Yeah, you think they're happy?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Why do you think women need children to be happy?
I know men who have no children or can't have children and want to have children are often pretty upset with themselves.
Yeah, I know women who can't have children and are upset, but I also know women who don't want children and are perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, they're probably young though. They're probably in their 30s or something.
No, I know people...
40, 50, 60.
Yeah, I know people who never had children and were like, I'm totally happy with this.
You know, I'm trying to be impartial because I'm not super conservative, but maybe we could have something like Plato's Republic where the community raises the children.
Yeah.
And then you don't really, even if you can't have children, it's okay. But even in Plato's Republic, the men had to compete for the woman.
I have no problem. If a bunch of men want to come and compete for me, I'm okay with that.
Well, I wonder why he thought that was the course. I don't know. Yeah, well, we'll have to get more in depth about this later, some other time. I think we're coming close to wrapping it up, and that was a good way to wrap it up. We had a slow start, but that was a good finish, I think.
Good finish.
Yeah, definitely interesting stuff. Not at all where I thought you'd be on it, to be honest. But I'm glad. Yeah, because I really do try to be, I'm not like one of these neoconservatives or anything. I'm really just trying to, I'm on a pursuit for knowledge.
On a pursuit of knowledge.
Yeah, so I figure if I give you any points and you can refute them, well, maybe I'll have to work harder, maybe I'm not right, or I don't know. But Natasha, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. If people want to contact you, do you want people to contact you?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay, you don't want them to contact you.
Okay.
Well, if people want to contact us, there's cfxu.ca or radio cfxu.ca. We're 93.3 The Fox. You can look us up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. If you want to contact me, my name is Caleb Scargall. You can probably find me on Instagram, Caleb Scargs. I do the show every week, Thursday at 9, and we're looking forward to have more and more philosophy students as guests because they have the best conversation, as you know. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them through to either the CFXU Instagram or my Instagram because I control both. And have a nice weekend. Happy Halloween. I won't see you till after Halloween. And that is all.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, it was good. Well, I thought.
I did not think that would go there.
Yeah, it honestly did.
It's funny how you're like, oh, you're so sociology. I'm like, that's hilarious. All my friends are like, you're so conservative and you're so like, they're like, no, it's like,
that's hilarious.
They're like, I hate the way you like philosophize because I'm like, okay, let's think about everything holistically and I'll just debate you until you get to the point. Oh god, it's hilarious. Yeah, I'm so glad we talked about crime culture.
Yeah. Oh, I knew it wouldn't stay there yet.